Hey, Rick.
Hey Megan, how you doing?
I am doing better than you. You sound like you've
Ah,
got some sniffles.
a sinus cold. I never ever have a sinus cold, but I have one this week. So there you go.
Never say never, right?
That's true. Hardly ever. Is that better?
Something like that. Well, thanks for joining us today, us meaning you and me
Yep.
for our call, regardless of how you feel. And that's how it works when you're in our business, is that there are no paid sick days. So
No,
you just
no
gotta work
timeouts.
through it. Sorry, you'll have to rest on the weekend.
Exactly.
Anyway, I've had a few calls this week
Hmm.
from people saying, Megan, what's wrong? The housing market. I read that the prices have gone down and like all this very
Hmm.
panicky
Hmm.
feelings.
Hmm.
And so I want to put a statement out regarding this. And
Good.
I am not a quantitative number, I'm not a numbers genius, that sort of thing, but I do know what the market's doing
You
because
do.
this is what I do.
Uh-huh.
And so, I mean, come on, people, the rates went up, 7%. They were even over seven at some point,
They
and
were.
it has slowly made its way. And I think people just have interest rate fatigue a little bit. It's been
Hmm.
exhausting. It's been
Hmm.
ups, it's been downs, and people are just coming to terms with um it's not going to get, it's not going to be down to 3 or 4 or 5 anytime soon. So I think
No, or if
the
ever.
market's just going through an adjustment,
Hmm.
and it does this every once in a while. And there's no reason to panic. There's plenty of
Correct.
buyers out there.
Hmm.
They're looking for homes that are priced well,
Hmm.
and that look really nice, and that
Hmm.
are, the cream of the crop.
Right.
And just as a reminder, year over year, the home appreciation, although it has taken a little bit of a snooze, was still up 4.5%.
That's a
And
very healthy market, by the way.
exactly, who doesn't want, the average home price is what, like 900,000? Who doesn't want 4.5% of 900,000? That's 45,000 in
Right.
a year of appreciation. I mean, come
Right.
on, people,
Well,
let's
so
not
Well,
fret,
so here's
okay?
well here's the thing. It's just it's much like interest rates. When rates were around 3%, seems like 4 years ago now, people thought that was the norm, right?
Yeah,
And so it went to five, five and a half, six, seven. They think, oh my gosh, those rates are really high. Well, no, historically those are very good rates. So people are they're not aligned with the market or that what the how the market really how it works. And the same thing with home value appreciation. When they saw values going up 10, 20% a year, they're thinking, oh my gosh, that's like normal. Well,
right.
you and I both know that 10%, 15% is far from normal, and it is not, guess what? It's not sustainable either. It's
Silly goose
mathematically
territory.
impossible. Okay,
Whenever I,
so
yeah, go ahead.
we're sitting here in a 4 to 5% equity appreciation annually, and to your point, yeah, 45, $50,000 a year. Who's going to sneeze at that? I mean, that's a great return.
Right, exactly.
So if you're putting 10% down or 5% down on a house, what's that return on your money? It's
I
huge.
know.
And
Yeah,
that's
you're still not going to
compounding.
be able to save more than that rate of appreciation. So
Right.
the point of it is that this is normal. And then also, I was talking to somebody
Hmm.
else recently about this, and they're like, "Oh, it's a little slow right now." And again, I
Hmm.
think we forget it usually is slow. It's usually
Hmm.
slow the beginning of the year
Right.
until, quite frankly, for me in my 27 years, things don't really kick off until after April 15th, more
Hmm.
towards the end of April.
Hmm.
Then they go
Then it
strong
builds. Hmm.
until June. June, things slow down a little bit. And I think that's because people are graduating, traveling for the summer, that sort of thing. Then
Sure.
things pick back up again
Hmm.
until November. So
Right.
that's a normal market.
Normal
So here we
stuff.
are
Yeah.
at a normal market. So talking about market changes and that sort of thing,
Hmm.
I I'm just eating this up. I love this because gone are the days that you can just throw money at it. Like,
Hmm.
money has a value now. We're not just throwing money to negotiate a sale. We're having to put our thinking caps on and solve some real problems here and get
Hmm.
things resolved. So this is
Right.
where, it helps to have some experience and
Hmm.
follow
Hmm.
up and follow through and all that
Yep.
sort of thing
Yep.
to get your offer accepted. So, knowing the market, knowing what's going on, communicating with the other realtor, and trying to get these parties together in a
Hmm.
meaningful manner without, just doing silly goose things is the name of the game right now.
It certainly is. No doubt.
Yeah. So let's talk about some ways that you can, it's in my opinion, your offer is going to be dead on arrival if you do these things. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's say you've been watching the news, reading the newspaper, and somebody that you follow or some YouTuber says the market's going down, everybody panic. And so you put in a crummy offer
Oh, yeah.
because you're setting your own situation here.
Hmm. Hmm.
You put in a crummy offer. You haven't even done any research. You don't even, you need to look at the comps, find out what the situation is. But a crummy offer is not going to set you up for success. When people call me and they're like, they've seen a house, they want to write an offer on it.
Hmm.
It's been on the market for a week and they want to offer, 5 to 10% less than what it's listed at. It's
Ouch.
like,
Right.
come
I get that.
on.
Hmm.
Come on,
Hmm.
don't do that. So if you're writing an offer, remember you look at the comparable sales, which is sales that have happened in the last 6 months within 1 mile of the
Hmm.
subject property and as
The key is
close,
1 mile.
yeah, 1 mile, and they as close to condition as the property can get. So if you're looking at a
Hmm.
single story house, look at other single story houses. If you're
Similar square
looking at
footage.
you're looking
Hmm.
at a house with a pool. See if you can find other houses with a pool. And the square footage, I think the rule is within about 20% up or down,
Hmm.
somewhere in the
Hmm.
middle. That
Right.
is how you look at the market trends.
Hmm.
And just know the lower that something is priced, the more offers it's going to have. The market is still heavy, for people looking for a deal. Don't be silly.
Hmm.
I just had one in the neighborhood last week or the week before. It wasn't my listing, it was somebody else's, and it was this really cute Spanish style house. I think it was a 3 bedroom, 1 bath. It had a 4 car garage, and it's really attractive house.
Wow. Hmm.
Yeah, and it needed what looked like, paint and the flooring would have made a huge difference. They priced it at $599. So of course, like people are coming out of the woodwork. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
interested in that house, and they call me because it's in the neighborhood, and I'm like, guys, it is not going to sell for $599.
Not even close.
This was like an introductory hook 'em,
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Hmm.
called the agent and I said, what are we doing here? And he said he's got offers close to 8 that were financed. And I know.
I guess as you mentioned, the term that comes to my mind, the old boxing rope a dope. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like
Like, why is that
that's kind
so
of that
low?
strategy. It's like, why
I,
do that? Why
I
why
know.
would a listing agent want to go through 30 offers?
Oh, I know, exactly. Price
Ugh,
it right. Don't price it ridiculous,
yeah, don't do that.
And
Don't do
what's
that.
the right pricing? I don't know, like a percent or two, or maybe up to 3%
Hmm.
less than what you think it's going to sell at. Use some psychology. If you think it's going to sell for 880, you might price it at 849.9 and get multiple offers up to 880. But,
Hmm.
you've got to really, this whole pricing strategy thing, it's
Right.
everything. It's like the
It is
whole
everything.
umbrella, because under that umbrella is the condition, the
Hmm.
location, the
Hmm.
floor plan, the
Hmm.
amenities.
Hmm.
How does your house compare to other houses in the neighborhood? Go to the other open houses and see what our house is going for. We have talking about throwing money at problems. We have a house that went up for sale in the neighborhood, and it they bought it last spring
Hmm.
for just under 1,100,000. And I don't know what happened, but it's back on the market for like 980 now.
What?
the first realtor who sold it, of course, I will not name any names or any addresses or anything like
Hmm.
that,
Hmm.
had the house advertised as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And the house is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. And the other bath is out in the garage, which I don't think is permitted. I don't think it's
Not
even there
that it's
now.
permitted, or not that it's permitted.
Yeah.
Likely is not permitted. You
And
can't count that,
so,
as we know.
yeah. So now, they're trying to resell it with the proper bathroom count. And it's been weeks on the market, whereas before you couldn't, beat people off with a stick.
Well, I mean, you and I deal with these things a lot, and we really gear these talks that we have on Tuesdays really to consumers, and rightfully so. But you and I think, would both agree that so oftentimes we wish that realtors would listen to these talks as well, because if they
Oh my
listen to what we're
gosh.
doing, they would have a better result themselves. Because we deal with these situations like your situation, right, where they've listed it really wrong. You can't count that as a bathroom. I had a
Hmm.
situation, one of mine just recently on an offer, different agent, of course, where they were going through all the numbers on the weekend. They want to write an offer, and they wanted to write an offer, a low ball offer.
Yeah.
Okay. So I asked the agent, have you called the listing agent? Where are they at with other offers? What's their mindset? Oh, I haven't called them yet. We're just going to write a low ball offer.
Oh my gosh. Like that's
Oh,
not a strategy. You
that's
have to
not a
call.
strategy. You can't, of course, they didn't get the
Yeah.
house and went for full price. They didn't go for low
Yeah.
ball. It's like, so the agents aren't even doing their homework. They're not asking the questions. They're not doing the comps. They're not running the numbers. They're not advising their clients. And so
Hmm.
that's why we get these really bad outcomes,
Hmm.
in my
Hmm.
opinion. Because
I
you and I
agree.
both see that.
I know. By the time I'm out showing a house to somebody, I want to know the whole story already. So we have,
Right.
questions we ask. And
Hmm.
and sometimes if the pricing, if I don't get it, if I'm like, what is going on here? Then I'll ask the agent, so your pricing strategy, tell me if you had a crystal ball, what do you
Mm.
think this house is going to sell for? And that helps me to understand where
The
they were
mindset.
coming from.
Their mindset. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so, all right, that's for that one. And then as far as sellers go,
Hmm.
um, you know, in a changing market, don't panic. Don't panic. Everything's okay. If
Hmm.
you're selling a house in a market that's softer than it was, you're probably going to be buying a house in a market that was softer than it was. Okay. It's an overall blanket sort of effect. It's now
Hmm.
different areas definitely are affected in different ways because rates
Hmm.
of appreciation are all very, what is the word? They're kind of micro markets,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
so when we had, the, I forget what it was. A couple of years ago anyway, the high end market was really affected, so sometimes there's different little micro markets and ways things are affected, but overall everybody's going through the same stuff. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
don't panic,
Hmm.
be smart about it, price the house according to the comps,
The
price
market.
it a little bit better, and go over the strategy with your realtor. What do they think is going to happen, and how should you best prepare your house? It's like I always say, most of the work is done before the house even goes on the market. Make sure that when you open the closets, that things don't fall out at you, clean off the counter spaces, just touch up the paint. People
Hmm.
they have to spend all of their money. So they want to think that they can move in and be very comfortable there and
Hmm.
not have to do a bunch of work if you have it priced that way, because that's the umbrella. The price is the
Yep.
umbrella, and
Hmm.
then all the other things are underneath of it. So that is my advice today for navigating this market that is a little bit different than it was in 2022.
And that's always going to be that way. We know that. It's
Mhm.
the one thing that's constant in this business is going to be what? Change.
Change.
We
Yep.
know that. And so it's a matter of the smart agents that are out there doing business every day. It's not a part-time hobby, right?
Right.
You're a pro, you know what you're doing. You're fully engaged. And so you're able to really guide your clients around what this looks like and how to write smart offers and how to sell their house at the right price and attract the best offers.
Mm-hmm.
And so oftentimes we see that's not the case because agents are not full-time, they're off doing something else, and they
Mm.
where their circumstance is, it's usually kind of wrong, and then we have these problems. And so it's not really a slow market. This is a really normal market. What's
Yep.
not normal is to put a for sale sign in the front yard and get 18 offers by Saturday.
Bingo.
That's not
Unless you
normal.
priced it 200,000 under market,
Under
right?
market, that's different. Which, by the way, I think we can agree that's not really a smart move, right?
Oh,
That's not
that's
really
too
smart.
much. Yeah.
It's just too much. So,
Yeah.
so the good news is, look, we are in a healthy market. We don't have a huge amount of inventory. Rates historically are very good. We're in a
Mm-hmm.
stable economy.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where it should be. This is normal. This is healthy.
How did the rates do this week with how the market ended on Friday? How are things shaping up?
Gosh, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because you know how this thing goes. The good news is, Megan, is that the last few days we've been seeing gradual rate improvements. And it's
Hmm.
consistent rate improvements every day. Not huge amounts, but just a little bit. It's like chipping away at it. That's
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
very healthy. We don't want to go from 6 3/4, 6 1/4 in 2 days. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I always say this, we've got to be mindful because we can see this little ticking down in the rates, then wake up
Mm-hmm.
in the morning and see something happen around the world and rates go crazy up,
Oh, exactly.
right? So
Everything's
we,
so
so
emotional.
so the fact that they're going down right now is very, very positive. And I do think we're on a sustained track, if you will, where we're going to see the rates probably stay in the low sixes here for a little bit.
Oh,
But
nice.
but it's really important that buyers don't get caught up in this mindset of like it's like going to Las Vegas and playing the slots. Well, if I get this one more, and then they say they lose everything, right?
Right. Oof.
And so it's not the one more. When we see the rates do this, that's the time to lock in the rate. Don't
Yeah.
don't wait for the next lowest rate because you can wake up the next morning, it takes it all back, and guess what? You can't make that up. You can't just
I
come
know.
back. You can't go, well, I want that yesterday's rate. Yeah, that was yesterday. You got to take today's rate now. So I think we're going to be here for a little while. But again, word of caution, that can always change. But I think for right now, we're good. So I'm very happy about that. And I think we're in a good place.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, I'll take it. So hopefully somebody found this to be interesting and engaging. They can forward it to a friend, send us any questions you have, any topics that you'd like to hear, and we will see you next week. I hope you feel
Yep.
better.
Me too. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See you later.